out to Harrison Adams. Oh, baby.
Carnes did a great job of pivoting. I don't know why the runner didn't get back because Harrison was there way early. You and I both saw that he had gotten there, and he was actually waiting on the ball. Usually you try to time it. And the runner didn't move until Carnes spun all the way around and let go of the ball. Good pick by Harrison.
78 degrees at first pitch. Came in at 127 today here as we resume play. And swing and a miss from Bumball. Boy, the momentum has turned. I was worried about Greenwood. The host team haven't scored on their number 2 guy that started for them. Be interesting to see who they bring out to pitch. And here we go with a pickoff and a pickle. 2 guys picked off basically at second base. Swinging a chopper to Bashir. He waits on it. Sunday hop. He'll go to second. Doc Holt's waiting. Oh, baby, what a start for these Bulldogs here as they came out and erased any momentum that would possibly be had by the Marion Patriots. There was no hits, no runs, no errors, 1 left on base here in the top of the 4th inning. Huge momentum for these Bulldogs, Keith. We'll stay right here.
Yeah, and you can write on your book somewhere that there was 2 base running errors. We'll see how big those are later. But you would think a runner at second, nobody out. You almost, me and you talked about, you almost chalked it as a 1 run.
Yep.
And Greenwood wiped that off the board, turned around, no one got past second base. Excellent job by Greenwood. You can tell that their emotions are high after having to sit in a hotel all day and just kind of watch everyone else get to play, not knowing if the rain was going to keep them from playing again. They came out here ready to go.
We want to thank Orr Chevrolet for providing transportation for me over here from Greenwood yesterday. Certainly appreciate the folks up at Orr at the Fort Smith Auto Park for their help with Greenwood Athletics, and for sure all of our Grand Slam sponsors. Freedom Roofing, Mr. Keith Holt, ABC Signs and Printings, Adams Health and Wellness, J&H Automation Engineering, Craig Gigrich, State Farm Insurance, MSG Waste Services, Scott N. Branton Architects, Top Notch Roofing, and also some more Grand Slam sponsors, Duck's Body Shop over in Mansfield. They love big hits when it comes to Greenwood baseball, but not when it comes to your vehicle. You get an accident, call Duck's Body Shop in Mansfield, 928-5516. The place to go to get your ride looking right. Duck's Body Shop in Mansfield, and West Fraser Lumber in Mansfield as well. It's proud to support Greenwood Bulldog Athletics.
Well, to me, the eye test, already the little things that Greenwood or Marion are or are not doing are going to be huge. You know, just watching infield, some of the flips, some of their footwork. I mean, if you don't know baseball and you don't know the inner workings, to watch an infield, you can tell if they're taught, if things go over the little things. And it's things that sometimes don't matter, but to win championships, they definitely do. Greenwood does those things. You know, Greenwood, to me, going to come out the next 2 or 3 innings and score some runs and take control of this game.
Okay, so Jeff Sutton's pitching. He was in center field last night, and Solomon Flores, who was in right, is now in center field. And number 1 is Nash Parker. He was at second base last night. He's in right, and that means, yes, Cat Carson, who pitched last night, is at second base. So we've got everybody squared away. It'll be Harrison Adams to lead off the bottom of the 4th for the Greenwood Bulldogs. No score here. This is the first round action of the 6A state tournament over here in Marion. Artificial turf, if you weren't with us yesterday. Fantastic facility here over here at Marion High School, both softball and baseball. And that was a ball low to Harrison Adams. Grant Carnes, then Brady Pettigrew here in the bottom of the 4th. Brandon Brewer, first-year skipper for the Bulldogs over at third base coaching. That's Luke Hales over at first. And up on top for Marion, bringing it home and over but low is Jet Sutton, right-hander, big right-hander. Jet Sutton. See if we can get some numbers on him here in just a second. He brings the 2-0 home to Adams, and that's in there for a called strike, 2-1. Lady Bulldogs won 9-1. If you're just joining us and missed the softball broadcast this morning, they advanced to the semifinals. They'll get the winner of Benton and Harrison over there at the softball diamond, just about, half a mile from us down to the south. Here's Adams with a 2-1, and that gets by the catcher all the way to the backstop, where there's, 40 feet of real estate, probably 15 yards at least back here from the plate to the backstop. All kinds of territory and foul ground all the way down right and left field. 3 balls and a strike to Harrison Adams. And then chopper foul into the Greenwood dugout, so it's full count now for the Greenwood shortstop.
Pitcher.
Jet Sutton.
Jet Sutton, 3-1, 26 innings pitched. He's number 3 in innings pitched on the team, 1.88 ERA, giving up 12 hits, 7 earned runs, and 17 walks, 39 strikeouts.
And that is over, but I guess outside maybe a little low, so a leadoff walk to Harrison Adams. Here's Grant Carnes.
And you imagine, I know there were some other games this morning. Do you think they flip-flopped the officials as well? Or do you think they put them back the way they were?
What's that?
The officials.
I bet they're the same.
Because there was 2 more games this morning, or 1 more game this morning. It makes you wonder if they came out and made it to where they could have the same, because that strike zone yesterday was a little bit tight as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Well, here is Sutton bringing home one high and tight. That's going to let Adams move to second as it went past the catcher. Couldn't reel it in. That's Jack Carter back there behind the dish for the Patriots. Same uniforms, Greenwood in the cream colors with navy blue numerals front and back, Bulldogs in cursive on the front and blue. Marion's got their home whites on, red tops, Patriots, or is that Marion on the front? That's Patriots on the front. I see the A is the second letter. I'm getting worse and worse. It's going on through a net and a screen, so give me a little break. That's Patriots on the front. I know you can't see. You're blind as a bat.
Me?
Yeah,
oh.
In blue.
Yeah.
I like the snow cone, almost a Montreal Expos type hat for the Patriots. It's red on the back, white up front, blue bill, red M on it.
Huh, they do have hats on. I couldn't see.
The lights are on here at the ballpark, and Sutton's up on top. Runner at second. The leadoff walk is Harrison Adams. Here's Carnes, a 1-ball count. They turn, nobody covering. Adams will just jog back into second. 324 down the left field line, 318 to right, 350 in both power alleys, 370 to dead center. And probably what looks like a 20-foot batter's eye out there in center field. Old Glory's blowing straight in. Wind was about 11 miles an hour out of the south at first pitch. 78 degrees. Partly cloudy. A little blue sky showing, but it won't last long. Here comes the 1-0, and Carnes just taps it foul off the plate straight back. 1-1.
It tells you a lot about Burr, not bunting to get him over to where you're 1 hit away from scoring 1. He trusts Carnes enough and Greenwood enough to have some momentum to have a big inning. I mean, that's basically when you don't bunt that guy over and get him there. You see a lot of teams panic and do it, and Greenwood's not. Greenwood's going to play for the big inning because they absolutely snatched the momentum away from Marion last inning with the base running gaffes.
100% agree. Here's the 1-1 to Carnes. That's high and tight. Boy, that one looked fat, Keith. He stayed off of it, though.
Did good. There was a off speed. I don't know if it was a changeup or breaking ball. It didn't look like it broke very much. It stayed inside, but Carnes doing a good job recognizing. All he's got to do is hit it deep to right side or to the right side and move the runner over. That's his one job right now. Base hit, of course, was his bonus.
Here's the 2-1 to Carnes. And it's a shot to the first baseman. He'll gobble it. He looked Adams back and couldn't go anywhere, so Adams has to stay put.
He hit it too hard with the first baseman playing in. That was probably a good read by Adams that it got to the first baseman so quickly, because he was going to shoot him across the green to third base and try to get him.
That's right. Of course, you wonder, that's a pretty tough throw. You don't practice that a whole lot, first to third, but I agree with Harrison. You got to stay tight there and live to play another day because you're still in scoring position. Only 1 out. Here's Pettigrew. He's 0 for 1 in this ball game. We've continued it from yesterday. We're in the bottom of the 4th. No score. Pettigrew flied out to right and waits on the first one from Sutton, and it's upstairs, ball 1.
Yeah, Sutton just leaving that looks like a breaking ball arm side, leaving it inside the righties and just can't finish it out front.
Skaggs out on deck for the Bulldogs in the DH spot. Jet Sutton comes set for Marion. Right-handed, tall, lanky kid. Comes home with the 1-0. Pettigrew runs it to right field. That's going to score Harrison. No, Brewer's going to shut him down. The right fielder, and he's got a nice arm, too. That's the guy that pitched yesterday, so good job from Coach Brewer to shut Adams down. will take a single from Pettigrew, and we've got runners at the corners now.
Yeah, it was offline a little bit. He probably would have scored because it was up the first base line, but there's no way you can anticipate that if you're Burr. Again, you've got a guy 90 feet away with one out. You don't want to go ahead and spoil it and get a guy thrown out and then turn that momentum that you just earned back over to Marion.
That's Parker Nash out in right. He was their second baseman yesterday. I beg your pardon. Here's Skaggs, especially with this kid coming about. He's been red hot. One out, runners at the corners, bottom four. Here's Braden Skaggs. Singled already in this game. That one's upstairs to Skaggs. And Sutton continues to fall behind the batters here. Marion with the home crowd. Lots of folks out to watch this one. Greenwood with some nice traveling set of fans. Some of the best in the state. They'll go anywhere. It's impressive. Here's the 1-0 to Skaggs. They hold the runner at first. And that one's in the fake dirt, but gobbled up by their catcher, Carter. 2-0 now.
Well, it takes the whole community, people that let people off work, family members that watch kids or take care of dogs. I mean, it's definitely a community effort. As we see, they call time for the coach to go out there. I don't like their system of relaying signs. I don't like the pitcher having a wrist. He's got the band on his wrist as well. Coach calls a sign, gives it to the catcher and the pitcher, and there's no interaction between the catcher and the pitcher.
I mean, what are you trying to say, Pete?
What'd you drop? Did you drop something?
No. I just missed the basket with my sunflower seeds, so I was trying to clean up, do a little housekeeping. This facility is too nice to miss with a sunflower seed. Are you going to change pitchers already? No, you're bringing a rosin bag out.
Well, with 2-0, you still got some issues. With Coach, again, right side or deep scores one run. And you can still, hit and run is in play. Get Pettigrew moving. You could do a delay steal. There's so many options you have to get the runner moving, especially with somebody like Skaggs who doesn't strike out a lot, doesn't swing and miss a lot. And as Coach continues to put his stamp on the personality of this team, he'll be able to do a lot more, the longer he's here.
Texarkana won the first game today that was resumed from last night, if I recall, beating Livonia, correct?
Yep, Texarkana is one of the favorites, then Valley View.
Yep. Well, they stay with the same pitcher, so Sutton checks his wristband. Skaggs digs in. He crowds the plate a bit in that right-handed box. 2-ball count to Greenwood's designated hitter. And here it comes. And Skaggs rips this out towards right, and it's going to be fielded. Good tag from Adams. Can he get there in time? The throw's way up the line. Pettigrew to second, and get back on the base. He did. He got back on there just in time. The wet turf overslid him, but to no avail, and a sac fly RBI for Skaggs, and the Bulldogs on the board first.
What's ironic is that's the exact throw that would have happened on Pettigrew's hit. Same distance. I mean, as he was rounding and stuff, it was up the line. Didn't have a shot at getting Adams scoring. Pettigrew doing a great job of going back after seeing the fielder settle under it and tagging, and then reading the throw over the cutoff man to get to second base.
The lights are on here at the ballpark, even though it's middle of the afternoon. The clouds have kind of made it a little ominous. 2 outs now for Weston Pashier. He popped out to the shortstop his first time up, and a called strike to Pashier. He was the second out back in the second inning.
Finally made the adjustment to that curveball. Broke right over the middle of the plate.
1-0 Bulldogs, now bottom 4. Conference champions looking to get to the second round of the postseason here. Be a tough task against the defending champs and the home team here hosting. And that's on the inside black, called strike 0-2. We're the home team for scoring purposes. We're batting in the bottom half of the inning. The host team playing at their field, First National Bank of Eastern Arkansas Baseball Stadium.
Roy Robbins Field.
Jack Rob. I can't remember.
You took a picture of it.
I did, but it was blurry. I can't. John Robbins Field. Here's Pashier 0-2. Got him. Backwards K. Yep, he looked at it. That was a good pitch. Well, the Bulldogs are out of the inning, but the damage was done. They got a run across on one hit. They left one on base. They've only left 2. And 3 hits for the Bulldogs on the game. Well, here we are, Keith. We played 4 innings. We're up 1-0. The game resumed from yesterday. The best part about all this, I know all the superstitions were abound. No one washed their clothes. I'm sure they're probably wearing the same socks. Baseball guys are weirdos about all that, which I love, by the way. You can tell me more about how. Have you ever had a rain delayed game come over the next day that when you played or coached?
Yeah, and then it's huge what kind of mindset you had. There's been teams that come out, and I would say that the benefit goes to the team that was down more than any. And luckily for us, it was tied 0-0, and Greenwood acted like they were down. They knew they should have been winning the game yesterday, so they came out like they were down, and they jumped on Marion early. But that there's something about the team down that has a mindset and mentality that they're about to, that it was like a do-over. You got to reset, and now you get to go at it again. They did a great job of coming out with more. That was more energy today than they had yesterday.
100%. Today's game is sponsored in part by Midwest Marion, Fort Smith. Appreciate all their help with the baseball program. And Ronnie Terry Roofing and Construction since 1978. Licensed and insured 479-831-9309. Ronnie, a 72 graduate, a member of that 72 championship team that played in the state finals. Lost, however, but got to the pinnacle, and that's where these boys are trying to go today. Ronnie Terry Roofing and Construction, 831-9309. All right, well, we are in the top of the fifth now. Grant Carnes in relief, if you will, of Aiden Kennan. And this is Davis York, their DH, and he lifts one a mile high. Kennan's on the run. Can he find it in foul ground? He's in the foul territory. Hats off. Makes the catch, Aiden Kennan. It was an adventure, but makes the catch. That's a hard one, Keith, with that wind to flag down. And a guy doesn't play a whole lot of left field.
Well, and that was going to be the conversation we had if he dropped that is, what happens if you put the guy that's normally out there? Because that's one of the hardest places to go and play when you haven't in a while.
Yeah.
Especially when the winds are blowing. The flag is stiff out there. It's blowing in so hard, and that ball definitely moved.
I can't tell you how good of a play that was. Kennan ran a mile, like I said, and hasn't played a whole lot of left. And here's their pitcher now, Jet Sutton, who was 0 for 1 today. He showed bunt and then pulled back, and it was outside ball 1. I'll remember that from Kennan out there. As much as I praise him, maybe to a fault, that was a huge flag out down there, and the confidence builder for him is the 1-0 is fouled into the Greenwood dugout. 1-1. Here's from Carnes, the 1-1, swing and a miss. Gobbled up by Hosley behind the dish. 1-2 now. 1-0 Greenwood. Top of the fifth. Grant Carnes up on top in relief of a game that was resumed today, and swing and a miss.
Well, to kind of reset what Greenwood has pitching-wise, you'll have Mitchell tomorrow, which to me, Mitchell was today's supposed starter. If you get to today, well, it got backed up, so now Mitchell will be tomorrow, game 2 starter. And then Sunday, you'll have Kennan again that can start Sunday, and still have Hunter. See the ball hit up the middle.
Adams gobbles it up, couldn't get it out of his glove. He gobbled it right in front of the base, and maybe a little wet ball. Couldn't get it out of his glove, and it's going to be an error for Slade Inman. He's on aboard at first.
Well, I guess it's good that he didn't throw it. If he didn't have a grip, how many guys have you seen throw it because they didn't have a grip and they sail it and it gets to second base? This way, it's a single or error. He stays on first base, and it's not a hurt. So really credit Harrison for not getting a grip and not making that throw, even though it was an error.
That's true. Here is Parker Nash, their right fielder. They throw over, and he's back safely sliding in. And we've talked about Carnes a bunch, Keith, how much we love his pitching style, that no stride or no leg kick. Then he'll switch it all up. It's fantastic.
He really messes with the hitter's timing.
Here's Parker Nash, a right-handed bat. He squares to bunt with 2 outs. They throw over. He's dead meat. Oh, wow. Called safe. The Bulldogs are running to the dugout. That's a close one.
Well, you saw what everybody else saw. He didn't dive back to the base. He jumped in the air. And when he jumped in the air, I think Pettigrew got him on the back shoulder.
Yep. Parker Nash still waits. Now he's crowding the plate a lot. Let's see if he squares to bunt again. I guess he's trying to bunt for a hit with 2 outs. Carnes up on top. He'll come home with it, and that's just outside. I was going to wait.
I'm going to say it's a fake bunt take. I'm going to say that you can tell it's out of the zone. You're supposed to, when you fake bunt, you put the bat out of the zone so you don't give the pitcher a target.
Yep.
He's a little high with it, and I don't think there's any way with 2 outs down one that you would bunt in this situation and just give up that out so easy.
Right. They throw over again. He's back safely this time. I got in trouble in the softball game. Home plate blue was super, super late with the strike call. And there's 3 or 4 times I just kept staring at him and then somehow ended up anyway getting the count wrong. It's very odd. But 1 ball here to Parker Nash. Carnes kicks and fires. Nash, a little chopper. Bashir got it on 2 hops. He had trouble getting it out, but gets there, though, and gets the speedy Parker Nash at first base, 5-3. Bulldogs get around the error on Adams, and they strand a runner to the Marion Patriots. We're in the middle of the 5th inning, and Greenwood leads Marion 1-0 here in the first round of the 5A state baseball playoffs. We will take a timeout, Greenwood Sports Center and the Sports Hog 103.5. Thank you.
Thank you.
A minute, please. What we got here? Sweet and salty?
Did you go by the hospitality room?
Not here. Oh, wait, I got a couple of waters earlier. I don't know what they got.
Taco, chicken, taco nachos. That's all I saw. Oh, chicken or meat nachos, maybe. It was tortillas. They got tortillas out there.
I may want to get my wife to come back over here to eat.
I just took a bunch of cheese and put it on top of the chicken and put some chips and just...
Yeah. We welcome you back to Marion. Tim Terry, Keith Holt, glad to have you aboard here. Turned out to be a decent little Friday so far. Lots of blue sky just right over the Memphis area. We're looking south and east from here. But there's some radar action supposed to be coming this afternoon. Let's see if we can get this game in today, as Aiden Kennan will get things going for us here in the bottom of the 5th. Kennan came into today batting .311. Right-handed bat. Grounded out to short his first time up. And that's in there for a called strike. Kennan's in right field, or in left field, rather. Bircher's in right. Carnes is pitching here in the continuation, resumption, if you will, of game 1 here, first round action. 0-1 to Kennan. No idea where that was, but it was called a ball. 1-1. Boy, it looks good. 1-0 Greenwood here to bottom of the 5th. Bircher's out on deck for the Bulldogs. Here we go. That's outside for sure. 2-1.
Well, we saw the pitcher yesterday keep everything away, and this kind of pitcher is kind of taking over to where they're not getting anything over the plate for Greenwood to hit. When he's missed inside, but they've been too far inside.
2 balls, 1 strike to Aiden Kennan, senior. 3-sporter heading to Arkansas Tech, and a little low, 3-1. It'll be Bircher, then Mitchell, the Austin boys. Austin Bircher, Austin Mitchell. Talked to Chris Bircher, Austin's dad, the other day over at Orr Chevrolet, picking up our ride to come over here. And good to talk to him. Great guy. It's in there for a called strike. Of course, Martine Bircher's Austin's grandpa, former Razorback legend. Pete's place, if you will. Chris and he grew up at Pete's. I said, man, we used to go up there some as well. It was awesome. Full count to Aiden Kennan. That's Sutton up on top for Marion. He kicks and fires. Kennan goes down swinging at some high gas. Just couldn't find it, and there's 1 down. Here's Austin Bircher.
Oh, that was probably ball 4, wasn't it?
Yep.
Well, we've talked about this as well. You're only as good as the bottom can do, and lately the bottom has really, helped us. Against Greenbrier, I think they were the guys getting on base, and the guys at the top were hitting them in. I mean, we've been really solid, and Greenwood's just come so far from the conversations you and I had at the first of this season.
Bircher came into today batting .297. Struck out to begin the 3rd inning, and there's a called strike to him here. He was struck out looking, as a matter of fact, in the 3rd.
Yeah, and Greenwood's just going to scoot up to that white line and take that outside away because he's giving them every bit of the black on the outside part of the plate.
There it is again. That one's right down Broadway, I think, Keith, the 0-2.
Yes.
Bircher got a reset. Just takes one. Sometimes the 0-2 count, get your eyes a little wider. You can see it a little better. And Bircher asked for time, got it from home plate blue. Steps out of the box and now digs back in the fake grass or fake dirt. Excuse me. Way outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Outfield kind of set a little bit different. The right fielder's not as close to the line as they were yesterday, and the center fielder's kind of offset to the left center side.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Bircher digs back in. Here it comes from Sutton, and that's over but low, a little bit inside maybe. 2-2 now.
Did that not bounce up there?
Look, it may have bounced into the catcher's mitt.
Yeah, I just from this angle looking through 2 nets, it's tough to see.
Right. 2-2. Either way to Bircher with 1 down here, bottom 5. That's fouled back into the netting. Greenwood with the lead, 1-0. Scratched one across in the 4th. Had a huge top of the 4th when we resumed play. They had a runner on second. We picked him off in a pickle. Then we picked off a runner at first and just got the momentum completely turned around. Carnes up on top and has done a good job as well. Here's the 2-2 to Bircher. Swing and a miss. So back-to-back strikeouts for their pitcher, Jet Sutton.
Yeah, it's going to be different for Marion because they've usually got the mindset of, well, we can be down 1 run. We're at home. We've got the hammer at the end. You know, they're not in that position anymore. I mean, if you think about it, this is the bottom of the 5th. They've got six more outs,
that's right.
and that's it.
And here's Austin Mitchell. He comes in batting .226. And by the way, that's 3 strikeouts in a row for this Sutton kid. Mitchell looks at ball 1, a little low. Here comes the 1-0. That's in there for a called strike. Boy, hate to have a 3 strikeout inning here. Dawson Holtz out on deck if Mitchell can extend the inning. Bottom 5th, 1-0 Bulldogs. Sutton kicks and fires. Swing and a miss from Mitchell, and 1-2 now.
In 26 innings, he does have 39 Ks. That's, over 1 an inning.
Yep.
17 walks. Not a, their pitching staff has really kept walks to a minimum. And in high school ball, that's really what you got to do is throw the ball over the plate and let challenge the other teams to hit it.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And here it comes. That's way high. 2-2 now to Austin Mitchell, Greenwood center fielder. 1-0. Pitch counts at 34 right now. And got him swinging a miss. Boy, he struck out the side in order of nastiness. 4 strikeouts in a row for Jet Sutton. But the Bulldogs have the lead, however, 1-0 through 5 innings.
I like our chances with Carnes on the hill. He's a guy that goes right at people. He works quickly. This game may be over in 15 minutes with the way Carnes works, and if Greenwood continues not to be able to put the ball in play. But right now, 1 run is enough. If we can hold them, get them to where they've got 3 more outs, I think all the pressure's on them. And I like the way Greenwood's responded at the end of the year. We saw them respond well in Game 2 against Greenbrier. It used to be that at the start of the year they'd start off really slow and end up kind of hot, and they've slowly figured out their personality, and it's fun to watch the dugout. Speaking of the dugouts, I love the way these things are sunk down, where the field is kind of elevated,
yep,
and the dugout is sunk down to where you have to take steps down into the dugout. This is a nice facility.
Oh, it's unbelievable, Keith, and I'm telling you, the softball is just like this, but in miniature form. It's a fantastic facilities over here, I don't even mind driving across the state I just think over and play every year, especially from a media standpoint. Because our live stream and radio areas are very comfortable and very spacious, plenty of room to get everybody involved.
If you just walk up, you almost think this is like a football press box.
Right?
It's so long. It's the baseball press box at Greenwood. You would take probably 2.5 of those.
Yep.
To be able to fill this area.
They've got 5 booths in here, and they're 10 foot apart, or at least probably each one of them. or 10 foot deep. Maybe that middle one might be a little bigger because it's got where the scorebook and some paper press guys are at. 1-0. And the top of the order for the Patriots. Greenwood's at the top of their order as well here. As we begin the 6th inning, Carnes back to work. This is Carson Jett. He's their second baseman now. Started the game yesterday, and the rain delay in the top of the 4th. He's been moved to second base now. He's 0 for 2. Struck out and lined out to shortstop. He's in an 0-1 hole now, and Grant Carnes up on top. The sophomore righty kicks and fires. There's a chopper. Adams got to come get it. Got it on 3 bounces and booted it. Just couldn't get it out of his glove. That's twice we've seen him do that.
Well, he looked up too early there, and he's going to have to get comfortable. He's going to play. He's committed to Seminole.
Yep.
If you're going to play college shortstop, you've got to be able to run through the ball and throw it on the run. And it was like he was going to slow down to set his feet and field it instead of just go through the ball. And that's too. That one is one that I think Harrison should have made and wishes he had back.
Certainly. And he's been pretty good over there. The shortstop is always the person that has the most errors because they get the most balls hit to him at any level, any league. But he's been pretty solid over there all year, really. But a tough start here today in this resumption game as we see Solomon Flores, who's having trouble with the signs, and he has to have Coach come down from third base and help him out a little bit.
Coach, what is this? What is this bunt for a hit? What does that mean? Because it'll say BH, bunt for a hit. He goes, man, that means bunt for a hit. That's why I gave it to you. Now you came down here and asked me. Now everybody knows you're supposed to bunt for a hit.
Yeah, certainly a situation to play some small ball. Carson Jett with some Carson Cat, rather, at first base. He's got some speed. Carnes from the stretch. Flores walked, struck out. They throw over, and he's back safe. This is the guy that got caught in the pickle who started out at second base when we resumed to play in the top of the 4th and got hemmed up in the pickle over there between second and third. Run down, if you will. And now Carnes is ready up on top. And he comes home with it. And that's
low.
A little low. Okay. Ball 1. Runner still at first. Pettigrew holds him on. There's room over there in that 5-6 hole. It's tough because you've got Dawson kind of shading towards second, but he's not covering the steal here, right? So,
no, you got to keep Pettigrew back, I'm assuming, with Dawson not breaking at all. Pitcher will cover that side.
They throw over, and he's back safely.
And when you've got a Carnes that can play any position, why not have him cover that side and make it? Because it's always difficult for the first baseman to charge, second baseman to cover from the hole. Because right now you got to look at something else, too, is a straight steal.
Yep. 1 ball, no strikes. Carnes up on top, charging hard at third. The ball's in the air, and golly, they throw to first. They get the force there. They throw to second, and the ball goes into the left field. But now they're going to try third base. Carnes is there, and a bad throw hits the runner, thank goodness. Unfortunately, as Scott Holland has been put in out there in left field. And, boy, I don't know if Greenwood could have screwed that up any more as they did there. Luckily, they got 1 out of the deal over at first base. Wow.
Well,
good luck painting that picture, Keith.
It was a bunt pop-up between Carnes and Bashir. Bashir was already coming, and the thing Carnes didn't see him that he had already crashed in. So when the ball's up in the air, they run into each other. They drop the ball. Well, then you could have got the lead runner still at second.
Yep.
But then he looks up and sees, well, the guy at first stopped. He thought he'd get screwed up, so he stops. Well, they got the force out at first. A good throw and tag would have got the guy at second because, of course, it took off the force play.
Yep.
And then he throws it, short hops, bounce goes through. Scotty comes up and grabs it and throws it off balance, and it had to have been a little wet because he completely sailed it
right
to where the third baseman, like you said, if it hadn't hit the runner, I think it still would have probably went to home plate.
Yeah, I do too. And luckily, unfortunately, hopefully he's all right, but he hit the runner and kind of stopped him there. And the wet ball for sure was an issue there because if the throw to second would have been on the money or the throw to third, they would have had that runner cut down both places. But nonetheless, let's see, we've got to have an error on the dropped ball, but he still got out, though, over there. So it wasn't really an error on the drop.
Fielder's choice.
Yeah.
I feel it'd be an error on Pettigrew throwing it to second.
That's right. That's really the error that we had, the E3.
But we know that ball should have been caught. It should have been an easy catch.
And we had a guy on first and 1 out. Still a guy on third now with 1 out, and Carnes is up high with this one to Matthew Kearney, their shortstop. So Holland's out and left now. And so we've probably seen all of Kennan.
And he'll assume that position there in the batter's
in the
lineup.
batting order. Yep, that's in the dirt. Good job from Hostley to knock that down 2-0, which is we're at the top of the order, and Kennan's in the 7 hole. So who knows what can happen between now and then.
Well, well, I'll finish this thought after this pitch.
2-0 count. Hostley got to be a wall with a runner at third. He's going to walk in if one gets by him. That's over for a strike called. 2-1 now.
Well, we talked about Marion's base running gaps, how that could end up costing them this, and then we have an error on our shortstop, another throwing error.
Yep.
Greenwood's going to have to clean it up if they're going to try to finish this and beat the teams that are here.
Right. That one got through. That's going to tie it up out into left field through the 5-6 hole. Holland gobbles it up, and it's an RBI single for Matthew Kearney.
Yeah, again, it wasn't an earned run. It was an error.
Right.
And it was one of those, and I'm sure when Coach went out there, he just wanted to calm them down. And, he wasn't talking to Carnes specifically. He was just saying, guys, we got to relax and just play baseball.
Yeah.
Right now, the errors, the things, you don't change anything from what you've done all year.
Right. And runner at first. And here's Connor Taylor now, left-handed bat. And he singled his last time up and was out at first, his first time up, in the proverbial one unassisted as Kennan came off the mound, if you recall, last night, scooped it up and just ran it over to first. Like 6U style. It was pretty funny. Here's Carnes now up top. Threw over once and back safely. And that's in there for a called strike. It's kind of an off-speed deal there from Carnes.
It was.
Left-handed bat. Greenwood already with 3 errors early on in this resumption game. Here's the 0-1. And that guy by Hostley, and that's going to push the runner up. 1-1.
Yeah, more importantly, he takes away the double play.
Yep. And they've got an 0-2 on this. Did he call that a strike?
No, did he?
I don't think he swung. Yeah, 1-1. Home plate blue says. Wow. I'm going to say, man, I'm having a horrible day with this if that was. 1 out. Carnes from the stretch now. Position right in the middle of the rubber up on top. And takes a look back at the runner. Comes home with it. Just a little high. 2-1. Connor Taylor, rather. He's their first baseman. Time is called as Carnes adjusts the shirt, the glove.
You teach the younger kids. It's more important for communication, not just for safety, but for like that right there. If one of those guys is loud and demonstrative calling the ball, then they probably both don't collide and miss the ball. Yep.
Here's the 2-1. That's a ball pulled foul outside first base, and it's 2-2 now to Connor Taylor.
And that's huge. And we talked about it again. You got a senior catcher. His job's to shift and block. You do everything you can. Senior third, senior short, senior second.
Yep.
I mean, you've got the guys out there that are your older guys, more mature guys. You expect them to make the plays.
2-2. The batter asked for time and got it called as they were playing patty cakes out there around second base between Matthew Kearney and Harrison Adams, both deacon like they were going to cover, and one was going to steal, one was going to run a pickoff play. The batter watched that long enough. Taylor's back in and ready. Carnes is ready up top for Greenwood. We're tied at 1, top of the 6th. Here it comes. This ball's in the air, not anywhere deep enough for him to tag. Who's got it? Mitchell takes over from center, and 2 outs.
Good job of Mitchell coming over and taking over. You can see, you can tell right when Mitchell called it because Scotty kind of looked at him.
It locked him up.
Yeah, and locked him up. And
well, that goes right back to what you said, Keith. He was obviously demonstrative. He took over. The center fielder's in charge out there, and good job of Holland to keep his ears on and just bail out.
You bet. And at the time, I'm sure he's yelling 3, and you got Austin going towards third anyway. You want him to, in case there's a tag, and you wouldn't think there would be as shallow as it was hit.
And this is Jimmy Bumbaugh. He's their third baseman with 2 outs now. Carnes takes a long look back to second, comes home. Swing and a miss from Bumbaugh. Bumbaugh reached on a fielder's choice, grounded out to third base back in the second inning to lead it off.
Well, we talked about Marion having 6 more outs. They've made something out of theirs, albeit with Greenwood helping with an error, but Greenwood still got 6 out as well. Yeah, 2 errors, sorry.
Yeah.
Greenwood they've still got 6 out as well, and the hammer.
That's right. Carnes up on top, checks the runner. One more look. Now they throw back, and wow, luckily that one hit the base runner, or it was going to center field. It was in the fake dirt out there. Adams was going to have to do a little hockey goalie style to stop it, but pretty impressed. The runner shook it off, didn't even show any signs that it hit him. Here's the 0-1 now. And Bumball waiting on it, and that's in there for a called strike. Filthy stuff from Carnes right there.
Yeah, and he's still under the 30-pitch threshold. What we say, 31 to 60. You need 1 day's rest, so he could, you can finish this up with him throwing a few pitches, and actually he could come back Sunday.
Yep. Carnes up on top. Takes a look. See if we can get him right here. That's too high. 1-2. So I'd like to see him get a strikeout here. I'd like to see the Bulldogs scratch a couple across. And like you said, you can pull him out, bring Mitchie, and maybe throw the 7th. Then you got everybody ready for the rest of the weekend.
That's right.
Carnes kicks and fires. Got him swinging a miss. Boy, just in time. Attaboy, Grant. You dirty dog, you. They got a run across, though, on us here in the 6th. There was 2 errors on Greenwood. There was 1 hit. And Marion has tied it up. Middle of the 6th inning. Bulldogs coming to bat. Let's take a quick break. Sports on the Sports Hog 103.5. A minute if you got it. Do you have any idea if there's an Orr Chevrolet commercial running? Listen. Okay. I'll just give him a live read. That's fine.
This went from being cool to now it's just really humid.
Yeah.
So put our lineup up if we don't do it.
1-0, and everything's set. Pitching.
Yep. We saw the last game going to extras. 2.
This one won't. Bottom of the 6th inning we go. First round action, 5A state baseball tournament. Greenwood Bulldogs, conference champs of the West, facing Marion, the 4 seed in the East, the host team. But the Bulldogs, home team on the scoreboard. Top of the order, here's Doc Holt. Holt's 1 for 2 today. He singled to start this ball game many hours ago, it seems like, but Doc back in there ready to go. Bulldogs would sure be nice to get a lead right here. Put up a crooked number with Carnes right at that 30-pitch mark. Be nice to get him out of here and have him ready for Sunday. Heck, tomorrow, for that matter. Didn't have any rest if he's under 30. First one to Holt is inside and low, ball 1.
Very nice. Start off ahead. Look for something you can hit. What you can't let happen is throw one over the plate and let him get away with getting a free strike over the middle of the plate.
Holt, Adams, and Carnes here in the bottom of the 6th. Tied at 1. Greenwood had 1 in the 4th. Marion 1 here in the top of the 6th. Here it comes. Holt up in the plate a little bit. And that's low again. 2-0 now to Doc Holt. Jet Sutton pitching for Marion. Right-hander. The lights are on at the park. The clouds keeps getting a lot more blue sky to the south. Hopefully it'll come in. That one bounces in. Holt doing a good job. He's way ahead now, 3-0, and a leadoff walk can mean danger.
Yeah, it's almost like you and I don't need to say anything. You don't want to jinx.
Right.
I'll be quiet.
Kind of like Dr. Smith talking about Haley's no-hitter over there, and then now we're in question on whether it was or not. Somebody told me Whitehall had it as a hit over there, and that's low. Got him. 4-pitch walk. Beautiful.
So now I can say it. Runners are a premium. I don't care how you get on, whether it's a walk, hit by pitch. It's, you get a guy to first base now, and I guarantee you Dawson will be a better base runner. We talked about yesterday his brother, who's that's what he does is study pitchers, said that the pitcher did a balk move. Well, this is obviously a different pitcher.
Yep.
And so Dawson will still get his shorter lead, but I would really anticipate Harrison trying to bunt him over right here.
Be interesting to see how Coach Brewer wants to play it.
Well, with Pettigrew and Carnes looming behind him, I would just think that you got 2 shots at a base hit with those 2.
Yep.
Get him in scoring position. You take out the double play, and try to steal 2 for 1. Do a bunt for a hit here. Do a drag bunt.
Sutton's ready on top. Comes set, checks on Holt twice over there, and throws over. Boy, Doc kind of had an odd flinch there that time, Keith.
I don't want to talk about it.
He's
so
getting me
anyway,
nervous.
so if you do a drag bunt for hit, your first strike, and you don't get it, then you can do your sacrifice. I like stealing 2 for 1.
Right.
If you can steal a base hit, and then you got 2 runners on.
I mean, if you could bunt something to first base, I don't know, you're almost guaranteed to get on.
Yes, because he's staying back.
And here it comes home. He's going to be swinging away, and he takes strike 1. Or he wasn't showing bunt anyway that time. Only got one more pitch to try. Coach Brewer threw the signs over at third base. Everybody's on board. Holt checks his
and
card.
He may not have. So after you walk somebody, you're thinking, well, he's thrown 4 balls in a row. Let's see if he can throw 5, and you're just basically just taking.
Yep, right. True. So here's the 0-1 to Adams. He's up in the box as well, right side, in a righty-righty matchup. And they throw over, and Holt's in there safely. That was a better look that time.
The 2 things you got to look at is how quick is the pitcher and how good is the catcher. We've seen the catcher throw. He's not, he's probably about a 2-1, 2-2. He's not great, but he's good.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going to be dependent on the pitcher, whether you straight steal Dawson, how slow or quick he is to the plate. I haven't been watching his leg kick to see if he slide steps or leg kicks.
0-1 to Adams, waiting on a pitch to come home. Here it comes. And it's fouled straight back. He's in a hole 0-2. Wouldn't have mattered that time on the foul ball.
No, and you're also looking, Dawson's reading down. That's what coach is yelling at him. Make sure you read the down angle, read the ball down. He threw 2 just 2 or 3 in the dirt to Dawson. I think 2 for sure.
2 for sure, yeah.
Hit the fake dirt.
Yep.
On the turf.
Never got through, but they were definitely in the dirt, fake dirt.
Anytime you see your catchers go down to his knees, that's an advantage the base runner has.
0-2, he's coming home with it. And right at the box, but at the shortstop gobble, steps on second, throws, got the double play. You can just see it coming, Keith.
Well, and that's where the bunt comes in, to where you don't have that happen.
Yep. So there is 2 outs now, and it's up to Carnes.
And I say that, but the faith you got to have in your players. He knows his players. He's been around them for 48 hours straight.
For sure.
And so to me, you can't sit back and second guess what a coach does or doesn't do, because they're around those players a lot more than we are.
Well, you kind of got to go with a gut feeling too and see what's up. Carnes swings in a bad pitch in the fake dirt, and it's 0-1.
Well, and you're going to see Coach Brewer's gut feelings change, because he's going to be here a long time.
Absolutely.
And you like to think that he's going to be a lifer here and retire here and win and lose a lot of games. Hopefully win more than lose.
That's right.
But it's going to change his gut feeling.
And that one's in the fake dirt, 1-1. Grant Carnes, let's see, he comes into today batting .400. He's 0 for 2 so far in this first round ball game. Sutton's up on top for Marion, kicks and fires. And there's a shot to third. Gobbled up on a nice play on a short hop and over to first. He got him. 5-3 on the putout. So Greenwood goes quietly in the bottom of the 6th. 7th inning, here we come. We're tied at 1 in a slugfest here with the host team, the Marion Patriots, the defending champs. And we want to thank our Grand Slam sponsors for all they do for the baseball program. Freedom Roofing, Mr. Keith Holt, ABC Signs and Printings, Crystal Moore. Adams Health and Wellness, Ty and Laura Adams. J&H Automation Engineering, Mr. Richard Hosley. Craig Gigerich, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. MSG Waste Services and Mr. Heath Borum. Scott N. Branton Architects and Top Notch Roofing. They love big hits over at Duck's Body Shop when it comes to Bulldogs baseball, but not when it comes to your vehicle. If you get in an accident, call Duck's Body Shop in Mansfield, 928-5516. The place to go to get your ride looking right, 479-928-5516. The Carson family over at Duck's Body Shop. And West Fraser Lumber and the Travis family, proud to support Greenwood Bulldog Athletics. Thank you to our Grand Slam sponsors for their nice donations to Greenwood Baseball. Well, Tim Terry, Keith Holt, it's top of the 7th. It's now or never. There's the last inning here for both teams. Tied at 1. We'll see who's got the wherewithal, Keith. Top of the order. No, I'm sorry. It's 6, 7, 8 for Marion here. Davis York will start it off their DH. He's 0 for 2.
Well, it sure would have been nice to get that one run now, because now you're going to get into a pitch count situation like we talked about, where you're going to play a couple innings. We saw the game before ours go into extra innings, and when you use a lot of pitching and you're a higher seed, it hurts you. Usually teams have 3 or 4 pitchers. We've talked about how you have to have 3 to win it all, and 3 really good ones. They can't be just average. And right now, Carnes is definitely one of our top 3, and he pitches. If you go 2 or 3 more innings, you would think that maybe you lose him for the weekend.
Yep, that's true. Grant kicks and fires, top of the 7th underway. That's upstairs to Davis York, ball 1. It is turned into a real muggy afternoon here in Marion. 1-0, then there for a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Grant Carnes.
I think every state tournament is dealing with the weather. You see every post about everybody having to change venues. Everybody's looking for turf fields as we see a swing and miss on an outside slider.
Says it's 79 now. It's only a little bit 1 degree more, but it's super sticky right now.
Yeah, and it's humid too.
Absolutely. 1-2 now. To Davis York. Carnes gets him to pop up. Adams drawing the beat at short, right in his position, and no problem for Harrison Adams.
That's the other thing, and of course hindsight's always 20 with not having Harrison bunt. He had a couple of errors, but it so happens that you've watched a lot of baseball, and I have too, where it seems like it's hard to get off that schneid when things are going bad, and you just kind of could see that double play about to happen.
Yeah, no doubt.
I mean, it was one of those you're like, oh.
That's right. Here's Jet Sutton, their pitcher now. He's 0 for 2. Started out at center field, and the first one's a called strike. This Carnes is doing a pretty good job up there so far in this resumption game. Top of the 7th, Bulldogs need 2 outs here and a chance to walk it off. This ball's fouled out of play over the top right side, 0-2. If you're just joining us and didn't hear us this morning, softball won 9-1. And arguable no-hitter for Haley McAdams in the circle for the Lady Bulldogs. I think that somebody Whitehall's game changer scored at a hit, so it's interesting. Here's the 0-2 now to Jet Sutton. And that's high, 1-2. I mean, it was a hard rocket hit, a 1-hop to Morgan at shortstop. And I mean, Corey Allen, she'll be the first one to tell you she should have made the play. I just feel like that, which I would think would be an error. Swing and a miss. Ball got away from Hosley. He'll have to gobble. It made the throw down. Boy, Pettigrew did some fancy footwork. Keith, you can tell the wet ball's making a problem.
It is. That ball sailed and went on the other side of the foul line to where Pettigrew had to kind of reach over the head of the base runner to grab that ball and did a good job of staying on the base simultaneously.
Well, here's Slade Inman. He's the last chance for the Patriots in the 7th inning. Tied at 1.
Yeah, if Greenwood's going to win it, they're going to have to walk it off.
Yeah. Well, yeah. True. And that is just outside ball 1. Yeah, you're right about that. I was trying to come up with a scenario where it wouldn't be a walk-off, but I guess it would be since we're in the bottom half. Squaring the bunt and the pull back. That just missed upstairs, I guess.
Yeah,
2-0.
Strike.
Bashir was charging from third. Man. Carnes kicks and fires. That's in there for a called strike. 2-1 now. In the bottom of the 7th, Greenwood's going to send Pettigrew, Skaggs, and Bashir. So, boy, you sure like to hear those 3 names. Some of our hottest batters. Chance to walk it off, hopefully. Outside, 3-1. This is the number 8 batter. Parker's their 9-hole. He's 0 for 2. So, this guy's reached on an error and grounded out to the pitcher, or to first base, rather. Here's a 3-1. Right down Broadway for a called strike. Carnes is 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning, 1-2-3, and giving Greenwood a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 7th.
When you're going to teeter-totter where if Greenwood doesn't do it at the bottom half of this inning, go ahead, call this pitch.
There's a rocket just foul outside first base.
If they don't do it, then it's going to flip-flop to where you're getting closer to the bottom of the lineup for Greenwood and the top of the lineup for Marion.
Right. That's exactly right.
You know, in high school, there's just a difference. You like to think, well, they're all the same. No, they're not the same.
I agree.
And you always say the kids set the lineup. You know, coach puts the players that he thinks are going to get on base and do the job and move kids around and get score, and so got him.
Tip foul. Hosley squeezed it and a strikeout for Grant Carnes, and the Bulldogs have made their way through the labyrinth and have found the bottom of the 7th inning. We're tied at 1, and Greenwood a chance to walk it off here and advance in the postseason. Handshakes and high fives for Grant Carnes on his way back to the dugout. We're going to stay right here. Pettigrew, Skaggs, and Bashir on scheduled up for the Bulldogs to walk this thing off.
Yeah, and both pitchers have done an excellent job. Sutton for them. It's just going to be the difference in, Marion's had probably more base running errors, and Greenwood's had more fielding errors. And if you take those out, it's a really clean game. And I don't know that Greenwood probably wins this game.
Yeah, I agree. A tough draw. Defending champs on their home field.
They won last year?
Yeah.
They
were like number 1 overall. They were 29 and 5. Yeah, they were like the number 1 ranked team over in all classes.
Man, it all boils down to pitching. Hitting is great, but good pitching seems to always take care of the good hitting, especially in high school.
Yeah.
You might have 1 or 2, but unfortunately in high school it takes you got to have 5 or 6 that can hit that really good pitcher, and it's just hard to have. And like Lakeview, they've got 5 Division I players. That's why they're the favorite. Or Valley View. Valley View. Mm-hmm. That's why they're the favorite. Is they've got some pitching and they've got guys that can hit the ball. And they're by far the favorite. And Greenwood will hopefully see them in 2 days. You win today, you win tomorrow, then you get them Sunday, and then after that it's Texarkana. Texarkana's got pitching.
Yep. We'll get the winner of Maumelle and. Man, I used to have all this memorized. It seems like we've been over here for 2 months. Sheridan? Yes. That's who we get if we can win this ball game. And that would be Saturday at 5:30 in the evening, correct?
Correct.
Tomorrow. All right, here's the 1-1. Pettigrew. Singled. Hey, right there to right field, but the right fielder's got a beat on it and hit it right at him. Boys allowed out. But 1 pitch, 1 out. Yep. Pettigrew's flied out to right twice.
Well, that was more of a line out because he hit that well. It just happened to be right to the right fielder.
Yep. So here's Skaggs now, the DH. He's got a sac fly RBI to right field. He's also singled. So Braden's been, again, one of our best hitters. And it's been that way pretty much all season. 1 out, and that one's outside and squirted past the catcher, ball 1. Bashir out on deck, then Aiden Kennan, or actually Scotty Holland will be in his spot in the order before we get there. I hope we do. I hope we don't. Here's Skaggs. 1 ball count. Sutton's up on top for Marion, comes home with it. That is just outside, I guess. Man, Keith.
Well, he's been consistent.
Yeah,
I mean, he really has.
That.
It's tough.
2-0. Skaggs. I mean, if you're going to get that as a ball, then that means you can really sit dead red and wait for your pitch. Here's the 2-0. And Skaggs hits a towering shot. Right, the left fielder's called it and makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, got an inside pitch. He got under the ball, hit it up in the air. Easy play for the left fielder. Gives Greenwood their second out, down to 1 final out to end it in regulation.
Slade Inman out there in left makes the catch. Well, here's Weston Bashir. He's 0 for 2. Struck out looking to end the 4th inning earlier. Greenwood had a runner at second waiting on him. Let's see if Weston can keep this thing alive. And they take a little bit getting some extra time in from the dugout. Now they're ready. So Weston will stand back in. Came in today batting .308. And Sutton's up on top, kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Kennan's out on deck, so he's going to re-enter. If we can get to Aiden, hopefully get to him right here in this inning.
Yeah, if not, if we don't get to him, I imagine Scotty will go back out and you'll do that change next inning.
Yep.
And that'll, of course, burn Holland, but then Aiden pretty much owns that spot now.
Yep. Here's the pitch to Bashir, and it's fouled out of play, and he's in an 0-2 hole. So, one strike away from extra innings here. And I'm sure the tournament chairman's really happy about that. We had to resume games and postpone them to a day late. Now we've got the first two go to extra innings.
Oh, I know, right?
0-2. Tip foul. So now they get the scoreboard right, at least. So I don't know if a batter looks out there, if a batter knows, but I know peeking over there and seeing 0-1. Oh, man, is it 0-2, 0-1? You got that extra going through your head. Just kind of not scoreboard watch.
Yeah, usually you just go by pitch in your head. After each pitch, you say, well, it's 0-1, 0-2, you know, because each one's got a different job.
That's right.
Different expectation.
Upstairs, swinging a miss with some high gas. Greenwood goes in order, and it's going to be extra frames and free baseball here in Marion. Let's take a quick break on the Sports Hog 103.5. Glad to have you aboard here on the Sports Hog 103.5. Live on Greenwood Sports Center on YouTube. Tim Terry, Keith Hope, 5A state baseball tournament. We're in Marion, Arkansas. And Drew, the home team here, they're the 4 seed in the East. Grant Carnes back out to work, and he will face 9-1-2 as they turn their order over here in extra innings.
Yeah, we talked about it. Greenwood's going to have to walk it off to do it. They get the last at-bats, but you don't want to have to come from behind to do it. You like it to stay right here.
Let's see. Parker is 0 for 2 today, 0 for 1 against Carnes. Grounded out to third base to end the 5th inning. And I think they're asking about their coach came and talked to Home Plate Blue as Holland's back out in left field. So like you talked about, we'll see who comes to bat when we start off the next inning.
Who do we have up? We have 6, 7, 8, 9. 7, 8, 9?
Yeah, Kennan, Bircher, Mitchell scheduled. All right, here's Grant Carnes back to work in their 9-hole. Parker Nash. He's their right fielder. Carnes kicks and fires. There's a ball laced foul outside third base, pulled hard. Steve Reich won. Top of the 8th inning, bonus baseball.
Well, I know I sent that to you yesterday, but I'm pretty sure what with the 60 is the number, 61?
61 is 2 days rest. That's high and outside, 1-1. 31 to 60, you can 1 day. 61 to whatever it was, 85 maybe, I think, it's 2 days. There's a ball slicing foul to the right side. 1-2.
Using every part of the park. Well, you'd hope that we could keep it under 60 so that allows Carnes to be available Sunday. You know, because right now you're talking about the last week of the baseball season. There's no hold back. I mean, you go after we see him strike out the Marion batter.
5 strikeouts for Carnes in this resumption game. Top of the order now is Carson Catt, their second baseman. He started this game yesterday. He squares to bunt, and it's outside for ball 1. Yeah, I don't know what you sent me those run rule rules at, but it's not in my phone. If you emailed them to me, I don't know.
Oh, I thought I texted them to you. Oh, that's probably back yesterday when my phone wasn't working.
That's true. The 1-0's right down the middle for strike called. Carnes is wheeling and dealing. The only run they scratched across was on an error. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Carnes kicks and fires. That bounces in, Hostley blocked it. 2-1 now. Top of the 8th, bonus baseball, tied at 1. Batesville players out and kind of playing catch behind the Greenwood dugout. As we'll get going in round 2 once this one concludes. Here's the 1-1. And just a little low. I beg your pardon. That was a 2-1, so it's 3-1 now.
Well, they can't get it right. You think they got one job at this doing the scorebook?
Yeah, 61-85. Here it is. Swing and a miss. He went after it. I like that. He was sitting dead red. And he thought it was strike 3, so he's going to get back in there. Try it one more time. It's 3-2. Full count. 1 out, top of the 1st, or top of the 8th. I'm glad it ain't the 1st. Whew. Carnes up on top. He comes home with it. There's a chopper. Adams has got to charge hard. Got a nice Sunday hop. Can he get it over there? Nope, in the dirt. Bad throw. He'll advance to second. Hosley flags it down, and he'll eat it wisely.
He's got to get more comfortable with going. He planted his feet, and he had to rush the throw, and he just buried it.
Yep. So over to second goes Carson Catt with 1 out, and it's going to be Solomon Flores, who's walked, struck out, and grounded out. His walk ended up on second base on a pass ball when the game was postponed with the rain, and then we picked him off in a pickle to start the ball game today. 1 out, man at second. Carnes up on top. Errors have been costly for sure so far. Really kept Marion in this game. And Hosley had to block that one a little outside and low. 1 ball count.
Well, you talk about the pitch count. I know you're not supposed to look past this game until you win it, but he's at 54. Or was that his 55th pitch? That was his 55th pitch, I believe.
I'm not sure how accurate the pitch count is either. We're just going what's on the board. I guess that's official. Swing and a miss. 1-1 now. Marion in a mirror image of kind of us. Their guys at 53. They've had base running gaffes that have kept Greenwood stay in this game. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the 8th. Carnes up on top. Runners out at seconds. Catt for Marion. And that's batted down by Hosley. He couldn't find it, and the runner with a nice job of breathing that down angle you talk about, Keith. He went
for it. He did not hesitate.
Nope. And a 2-1 count now to Solomon Flores. And now that's unbelievably humongous backstop with no wall back here for the carom. So the ball goes to the net, and it just stays there. So Hosley's got to be a wall.
And safety squeezes are tough on turf, because it's tough to kill it right between it. So it goes a little harder because the runner's supposed to wait to see it down, and it's just hard right now to get a safety squeeze in.
Good job there, Hosley, blocking that one. 3-1.
Infield's in on they're 2 steps in on the fake grass.
Yep. 3-1 to Solomon Flores. Matthew Kearney, their number 3 batter, is is on deck. He had an RBI single his last time up. And Hosley again had to bail out. Carnes falling off first base side, and it's a walk. And there's first and third now with 1 out. 59 pitches for Carnes.
Well, and you're going to try to roll it up the middle, but you're going to have to get rid of it. This batter's a quick batter, so.
Yep. Kearney's reached on an error. He was the first batter when we resumed the play. And he was picked off at second once he got around there after he reached on a fielder's choice. Made it over to second after a pass ball. 1 down here, runners at the corners. 1-1 bonus baseball, top of the 8th. The Carnes up on top. Matthew Kearney. That's in the.
Ooh.
That's a little low, I guess. Hosley didn't double clutch. Saw Riley Cowart in the softball game over there hold on to one for a solid 2 count. It was impressive. Wondering where it was. 1 ball now to Matthew Kearney. A little low again, 2-0.
Well, if you're a hitter, you got to be relaxed in this situation now.
Mm-hmm.
We were in this spot earlier where we didn't need a double play. That's the one thing that could hurt Marion.
Yep.
They get a ground ball back to Harrison or to Dawson or even back to the pitcher. You just don't want to hit it to where it's an easy double play and you score a runner.
Here's the 2-0. I guess outside 3-0. Connor Taylor looms on deck. He's 0 for 3. I beg your pardon. He's singled. He was forced out at second. He's 1 for 2. Singled back in the fourth.
He's the bigger boy. It may not be bad. He's probably going to be a little. And I know he's a lefty, but he's probably going to be slower to first than these other guys.
Yep.
Probably easier to double up.
Carnes came after him in a 4-pitch walk. So the bases are full of Patriots. And Coach Brewer's going to slow roll out to the pitcher's mound and talk to Grant Carnes. He's going to go to the bullpen. Here comes Austin Mitchell. He's going to keep Carnes under that 65 number key, so will be available on Sunday. And that's what this is all about.
It was 65. That was the number.
There's a pitching change going on, and we will take a break as Austin Mitchell's going to come in and try to get these Bulldogs out of this jam. 61 to 85 means 2 days rest. Well, either way, he's seen enough. He's going to go to Mitchell and see if he can get us out of this jam. We'll take a break here on the Sports Hog 103.5. 1 minute, please.
Well, and that may inadvertently play into Greenwood's favor. I mean, because now you got 4 to home, go home to first, keep him from scoring, or you got it up the middle. You got a bigger kid batting. It's going to be easier to turn it up the middle with Austin and Harrison. So it's not it only turns into a bad thing if it's a base hit or a ball in the gap or something like that.
I've got 5, 6 errors unofficially
on us.
Now pitching for the Bulldogs, number 8, Austin Mitchell.
All right. We're back here in Marion, 5A state baseball tournament. Extra innings. Bulldogs are in a spot here, and Austin Mitchell's been called in to rescue these Greenwood Bulldogs. Carnes has looked pretty solid, but back-to-back walks and some fielding errors behind him. And the Bulldogs are in a jam now with Marion having the bases loaded. 1 out. Mitchell comes in from center field. Carnes, I believe, went to right. Bircher moves to center. Scotty Holland still out and left.
And you and I discussed it. It's not a bad thing if he can still get a ground ball somewhere in the infield. Your corners are going to go home, and then Hosley to first. That's your double play. Or you got it up the middle with a slower guy. I know he's a left-handed bat, but he's a bigger guy, probably not as fast. So you've got a little bit more time. Doesn't have to be as perfect. So now he does have Harrison. It looks like no, Harrison's now backing up. Harrison was in on the grass a little bit. Now Dawson's coming in. So they've cut it in half. Nope, he's told them they're both coming in, I guess.
1 out. First one to Pettigrew. He'll come home with it. And a bad throw. Another error. Scores a run. The carousel begins. Another run will score. Boy, it just would have been a routine force out at home. And another error may write the eulogy for these Bulldogs. As 2 come across.
Well, he couldn't get it out of his glove. We've seen that time and time today where he couldn't get it out of his glove, and then he double clutched it and probably over gripped it and just buried it. And Hosley, there's nothing Hosley could do about that one.
We've seen every fielder, it seems like today, just can't get it out of their glove. Adams has been that way a couple of times. And they're going to pinch run. No, he's just going to bring his gear over. Yeah, they're going to bring a runner out. If he stayed at first, I thought he went to second. He did go to second. Yeah, when the throw came home and went to the backstop. It's 3-1 now.
I don't know that he did he?
I can't believe it. Yeah, he went to second. I was like, why is he not going to second? I thought he did. This is number 9 who's coming in to run. I don't think I got his name. We'll check on that. Still second and third, 1 out. Mitchie comes home with it, and it's low for ball 1. This is Jimmy Bumbar. Jimmy Bumbar. Mitchell from the stretch. Comes home. Called strike. 1-1.
One thing we know about the Bulldogs is they've taken on the personality is not having any quit or fight. they're not going to stop fighting. In this last inning, I'd be shocked if we just went down in order. I think we're going to do our best to make a game of it because that's the personality we've had all season.
Swing and a miss. 1-2 now to Bumball. He's their number 5 batter. 7 errors unofficially is what I've got.
It's tough to win when you have 7 errors.
You can't win. You just can't. Here's the 1-2. There's a little chopper. Mitchell fields it. He'll go to first. Get the out. Good. 1-3 on the put out. There's 2 down now. And Davis York, DH, who's 0 for 3 today.
Yeah, he's saying it hit off his leg, but he shouldn't have ran if it hit off his leg. So,
Out.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, like I said, he certainly didn't sell it if it was going to be hit off his leg. I think I said number 9 was out there. Tyler Carey is the pinch runner. Well, here's Davis York. Their DH. 2 down now. Greenwood just needs to get him out here. Figure out how to get 2 runs. And Mitchell let the ball slip out of his hands and it fell right at the dugout, so that's a balk. The run's going to score.
I think Coach's question is going to be, is it a ball or a balk? I mean, how far does it have to go for it to be a ball as opposed to a balk? He made the pitching motion.
Yep.
Everything was a complete pitching motion. The ball just didn't go to the catcher.
Yeah, it didn't slip out of his hand. Just slipped out of his hand, and Brewer's not going to question. So a run scores. Does that count as an error? No.
It's a balk.
Yeah.
Which it is. It's kind of an error.
Balk should be an error. Well, nonetheless, it's 4-1 now. And that's over below ball 1 to Davis York. Wow.
Greenwood couldn't make it easy on themselves, could they? They're going to make it as hard as possible.
Right. I like it. A little flair for the dramatics. Makes the broadcast sound better when we get all hype here in a minute. Mitchell brings it home. Hosley knocked that one down. 2-ball count. And their number 6 batter here. You'd like to get this guy in case you can. If you just tie it up and have to go to more baseball, you'll still have the bottom of the inning or bottom of their order.
Well, you definitely play for 3. I mean, you definitely got to play. You got to get all 3 to keep it going.
Swing and a miss.
If you get there, then you can go for the win. Again, I just can't. I can't fathom that we would this would be it. I mean, you just seen it happen time and time again with Greenwood. They don't quit. When they get down, that's when their back's against the wall and they fight the hardest.
Well, on the road against a home team, as bad as that sounds, is a different animal. That ball's fouled off the batter's foot. 2-2.
You hate it for the errors. I mean, that's just you just hate it that the timing of the errors are just all of them were just bad timing.
Right.
I mean, there's no good time for an error.
No.
But these were bad timing.
So it's a 2-2, 2 outs, top of the 8th. They've already got 3 across. Bulldogs trailing 4-1. They're going to have to do it in the bottom of the 8th, figure out how to get 3 runs. Mitchell's up on top in relief. Here he comes, breaking balls outside. Full count. Kennan, Bircher, Mitchell due up in the bottom of this inning if we get there, when we get there. The rain has held off. It sprinkled just for a minute at the start. Weather's been pretty good, just a little sticky. There's a ball laced to left. That's down for a base hit. Holland will have to dig it out, and he boots it, and they're going to get to second. But I think he was going to maybe have a double anyway. I don't know how they'll score it, but run scores nonetheless. It was an RBI for sure. And out to second base is Davis York.
Now batting for the Patriots, number 6, Jeff Sutton.
5-1. 4 across here in the top of the 8th. And that's the first hit.
They're going to pinch run. I can't see his number.
22, I believe it was.
Second number 22, Justin Morgan.
Justin Morgan is the pinch runner. That's the first hit of the inning. They've got 4 across already. A couple of walks, a few errors. Runner at second. This is Jet Sutton, their pitcher, way up on the paint, crowding the plate, and that
good pitch.
is. Well, they looked down to check and see if he swung. I didn't think he needed to ask about that. It was in the strike zone, but they called it a ball. 1-0.
Well, and you hate it for this for the seniors. I mean, we talked about how many are out there playing and stuff, and to play so good and to come so far in a little bit of a time to.
This ball's in the air. Hopefully the third out. If Bercher can go find it, he has to drift back to his glove side. Makes the catch, and finally Greenwood has got out of this top of the eighth, but the Marion Patriots did the damage. They had 4 runs on just 1 hit. There was 2 errors to my knowledge, and the Bulldogs are down 5-1.
Well, you and I, you can credit this. The place is great. The players are working hard for Marion. The fans for Marion are great, but I don't think Marion has affected what Greenwood's done more than Greenwood.
No question.
I think when they talk about this, it'll be that I think Greenwood was the better team that had more errors that cost them. And you say, well, how are they the better team if they have errors? Well,
I know what you're saying.
I mean, it's easy. That's why they're the number 1 team in our conference.
Yep.
I mean, that's why we watch them develop all year. And then to have in the biggest game of the year so far to come back, and we saw us take some momentum, and then, and it's basically the throwing errors. Are any of them glove errors that you can remember? I know the 3 from Harrison were all throwing. Pettigrew's was throwing. There was the one that we dropped the fly ball. So
Bashir had one in the first inning. That was yesterday, and I have Pettigrew with one in the first inning yesterday.
Pettigrew's was the catch, wasn't it? It was the one that he didn't catch it. He missed it, went off the tip of his glove.
Maybe so.
But for the most part, the throwing errors have just been been bad. They haven't been close.
Well, then you talk about really just between Carnes and Bashir not making the catch on that little bunt ball. That's what started this whole thing. That gave him the run in the 6th. Or this might be a 1-0 Greenwood victory.
That's true, yep. 4 is going to be a lot harder to get than 3. Of course, 3 is a lot harder to get than 2.
Yeah, right. But here we go. And who else to lead it off but Aiden Cannon, the senior. Started out the game as pitcher yesterday. Made a nice play out in right field to start in the 4th or 5th inning. Holland has gone in and fielded for him, but this is his first time to come to the plate, so I don't believe Holland will be able to come back out, but there may be nobody coming back out if we can't get 4 runs. And Sutton back to work, and it's low for ball 1. Good start. Kennon's 0 for 2 today.
Yeah, he just starts with 1 base runner at a time. There's no 5-run or 4-run swing with 1 batter, nobody on.
Dugout's up and jovial. You like to see that. Here's a 1-0. That's in there for a called strike. Softball won earlier today. They'll play at noon tomorrow. We'll have it here on the YouTube and on the Sports Hog 103.5. Here's the 1-1. That's low. I'm sorry, I didn't throw a break. I was just saying, I'm sorry. Bring it back when you can. I was just saying we'll have the game on the radio tomorrow.
Three 3-1?
Yep. 3-1 now. Went down low to Kennon again. So a leadoff walk would sure help the cause. Hunter Houston has grabbed a bat. He's out on deck, the senior.
Well, you'd like to think that anybody's bullpen is suspect, especially Marion. We saw them use their top pitcher yesterday.
Yep.
Their number 2 today.
Miss. Right. Full count to Kennon. Houston's going to bat for Bercher. Bercher struck out twice today. Once looking, once swinging. And the count is full. Let's see if Aiden can strike gold here. I got a feeling. Sutton checks his armband. And now ready to bring it home to the daddy. Swing and a miss. Tough one. Out number 1. And it's going to be Triple H Hunter Houston, who comes in here in the 8th to pinch hit. It's 5-1 is the score. I don't know if I got a text asking me what it was.
They're going to make a pitching change, looks like.
He's at 59. That's kind of in the middle of the.
Well, they're anticipating him staying, and so he can pitch Sunday.
I don't know why you wouldn't. up 5-1. Houston's going to come to the plate, batting 229. Triple H, and they're going to bring in. Let's see. Number 6 is Jet Sutton. Was started in center, went to pitch. Now he is going to go back to center.
13. Who's that? Who do you got for 13?
Hang on, let me see what these defensive changes. It's a right-hander.
York.
10 is going to third now. Carson Catt. And we'll just have to see who goes to second base.
I guess this is going to be York.
What did you say his number?
York. I don't have his number, but he's one of their top pitchers. And he hadn't played. He's not in the line. Oh, there's York, number 21, so that's not York. Bumball's not.
You don't have his number on the pitcher? Looks like 19. Ty Waller.
No, 13.
Daxton Davis.
So Davis has thrown 21 innings, got an ERA of 1, giving up 19 hits in 21 innings. I like that. Had 10 walks in 21 innings, but 28 strikeouts in 21 innings. You know, we talk about Valley View. When they played Valley View, the top-ranked team in the state, they lost 0-3, 1-4. So I mean, they played them close. They're not a bad team. It's just you really expect the 1 seed to be better than the 4 seed, and if you take out the errors, I believe we probably were.
I agree. Well, here we go. Daxton Davis will be the new pitcher, and he'll get Triple H. Right-handed pitcher, right-handed bat. Got to have base runners down 5-1 here in the bottom of the 8th extra innings. And that's inside ball 1.
It's got to be a changeup.
Mm-hmm. Austin Mitchell out on deck for the Bulldogs. Hunter Houston waits. Swings, lifts this one in the air to right. Nope, second baseman's going to draw the bead deep in right field. Makes the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, now you're going to have to do it with 2 outs. You're going to have to score 4 runs with 2, and it's not impossible. It's just very difficult.
Scored 8 runs against Alma with 2 outs, but this is not Alma out there today.
Number 8, Austin.
Here's Austin Mitchell, our 9-hole batter. Struck out twice, over 2. 2 down. Bottom of the 8th, Greenwood needs 4 runs, a 2-out rally of legendary performance to get back this game. That's outside ball 1. Carter tried to frame it up. One ball count. There's a ball ripped to left. Left fielder went out, but now he runs in, and he's got it, and that's the ball game. Well, the Bulldogs in the inaugural season under Coach Brandon Brewer had a chance at it. An error today just cost the Bulldogs an advancement in this postseason. Conference championship, though, but this senior class who's weathered a storm of sorts literally did it for yesterday and today. As sophomores went to the semifinals and bow out here in the first round of the 2023 5A state tournament. Tough one, Keith.
It is, and you know, and I guess if you would have told us at the start of the year that we'd have made it to state and got to play Marion, you know, to make it to the second round, you'd probably say, well, that's not bad. You know, I mean, the expectations changed, and I think now after seeing what Brewer and Sandifer and all of those guys that he has on the staff, you know, they created an atmosphere of where winning was the only thing that you had on your mind. It wasn't anything, you know, you didn't think about errors. You didn't think about losing. It wasn't an option. And we saw as the season went on that was the expectations. Okay, we're going to win conference. Okay, well, now we're going to go win state. And I think you're going to see that once he's here for a longer period of time, then errors like that happening in the state tournament are going to severely shrink down. I just think it's hard to put your mark on a complete team when you've been there less than a year.
Right, I agree with that, Keith. Well, Oh, sure, pleasure doing another season with you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yep, let's do it again next year.
Absolutely. And we're going to tip our hat to the seniors on this ball club. Let's see here. Dawson Holt, Baylor Hosley, Harrison Adams, Hunter Houston, Aiden Kennan, and Weston Pashear. So those guys can be proud of Bulldogs and what they went through over their 4 years, if you will, of high school baseball and a couple of coaching changes. Tough to weather that for sure, but nothing to hang our heads about. A conference championship, and we'll get back and regroup next year. I want to thank our following Grand Slam sponsors again for all their help with the baseball broadcast. West Fraser Lumber in Mansfield, proud to support Greenwood Athletics. Ducks Body Shop, when it comes to big hits, and when it comes to Bulldogs baseball, they love those big hits, but not when it comes to your vehicle. If you get in an accident, call Ducks Body Shop in Mansfield. The place to go to get your ride looking right, 928-5516. The Carson family at Ducks Body Shop in Mansfield, 479-928-5516. Freedom Roofing, Top Notch Roofing, Scott N. Branton Architects, MSG Waste Services, Craig Gigrich, State Farm Insurance, J&H Automation Engineering, Adams Health and Wellness, and ABC Signs and Printing. I want to thank our other sponsors as well. Ronnie Terry Roofing and Construction since 1978, licensed and insured, 479-831-9309. Member of that 72 state finals team, Ronnie Terry Roofing and Construction, and Midwest Mariucci of Arkansas, and appreciate their help with the baseball program and sponsoring our hamburger grill back at the Greenwood baseball field. Also want to thank Orr Chevrolet for providing transportation for me over here to the state tournament. And I know the baseball team's out, but we'll still have softball for you tomorrow, high noon. We'll have it right here on YouTube and Greenwood Sports Center.
Be sure and follow Greenwood Baseball on Twitter to get up with all the camps and stuff. I know they're going to work hard. This may be the first year that Greenwood brings back American Legion and has a Greenwood team.
Yeah.
And so you're going to see a lot of things from Greenwood Baseball coming up. Just if you want to know anything about that, get hold of Coach Brewer or go to the Greenwood Twitter page or Facebook page. A lot of good things are going to be happening.
Let me see, and I want to tell you, I appreciate Coach Brewer. He was Johnny on the spot, getting me stats for the kids throughout the season, and I sure appreciate him. A lot of folks don't really keep an eye on the media side of things. It makes our life a lot easier, and certainly makes the broadcast sound a little bit better for sure when we have some numbers and stuff to throw at you during some downtime. I was trying to find the Greenwood Baseball. Yeah, it's at GWD Baseball is their Twitter handle if you are on Twitter. All over the Facebook page, but GWD Baseball, and keep up with all the events like Keith said during the summer. All right, softball tomorrow, high noon, right here on the Greenwood Sports Center, online at YouTube and on the Sports Hog at 103.5. I want to thank Sean Holland and Joey Buffkin. They're doing the Lord's work over here, running through all this rain with all this equipment. Appreciate those guys on the live stream side. And I want to thank Miss Lissa back at the station. No A at the front, just Lissa, for making us sound so good. And, boy, she's been working, too, having to stay late, not sure, and staying with me last night when we weren't sure when this game was going to conclude or not. But congrats to the Greenwood Bulldogs on a good season. And they'll lose here in the conference or in the state tournament in the first round to the Marion Patriots. By the way, they're the defending champs. We talked about that, so nothing to hold your head down about, and look for good things from Coach Brandon Brewer. I'm Tim Terry for Keith Hope. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow at high noon as the Lady Bulldogs in the semifinals in the softball tournament over at the Softball Diamond here at the Marion Sports Complex. It's been YouTube, Greenwood Sports Center, and you've been listening on the Western Arkansas Corridor's leader for local sports, Fox Sports Radio and the Sports Hog 103.5. All right, sister.